let's talk about communication. What is your most important communication tip, Tom? You said here being very clear to people, and you hire them and let them know what's expected of them. And inversely, when you get hired, you want to know what's expected of you, or you did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on the communication side, I guess being clear and concise at this point. I mean, I don't know if we'll get into that later, but I've got 5 or 6 businesses that I'm running. You have to really, I mean, the employees that work there, most W-2 types of employees, if you're not very, very clear with them on the expectations, what they need to do on a daily basis, they will kind of, if the cat's away, the mice will play, I guess you can say. So being just very clear on what you're expecting from anyone in your team, your organization, your employees.
How do you do that? Do you do that via team meetings? Do you do that via emails? Do you do that through your CRM? Do you do that through, a proper SOP, KPIs? Are you tracking that? When you're making clear, obviously you're hiring someone for a job. I want you to come in and do this thing, but sometimes things change. Are you generally sort of allowing them to grow with the business and allowing yourself and your business space to have their hats be able to change?
Right. I mean, I think you brought up some pretty good appointments there. You have to really, let's take a step back. I mean, you got to hire the right people, right?
100%.
So, I mean, you're finding people that have the ability to grow with you.
Right.
Who have goals. I mean, I heard someone say this before, that if you got to find somebody they have really lofty goals, but your goals are so much bigger that their goals fit inside your goals.
I saw that the other day too on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will come to me. Put it in the description.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. To build a team, because
right.
Look, you want to hire people that have vision. You want to hire
right.
people that want to grow in life. You want to hire people who have aspiration, but your aspiration and your vision needs to be so big that it's encompassing theirs, and it also gives them room to fulfill their vision.
Right.
And so thus you're actually leading, but you're leading by default, not because I'm the boss.
Right. And obviously if their vision is bigger than yours, which happens, you hire somebody, I teach them all the tools and the things that they need to learn, and then they do so well, they obviously they want to do their own thing.
Then you take them out. I'm just kidding. No, you help them grow, man, because we live in abundance. You help them grow. And then you play poker with them, or you play golf with them.
Right.
And then a year or 2 years goes by, and they're like, hey, Tom, I'm super busy. Do you want to take this deal? And you're like, yeah, well, guess I can take that one down for you.
I like to take them out at the knees. I like that.
Take them right out.
Yeah.
All right. Love that. Being communicative with your staff, being clear, defining roles, responsibilities, laying it out, but also leading from the front. Let's talk about the you understanding. What's one thing you wish you would have understood earlier in your career? You have here, it's not what, but who you know. And you have capital raising is the jam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite topic. I can talk about.
We're going to talk about that today and tonight. Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Love
that.
raising money.
Obviously, what was the first thing I said there?
You said it's not what, but it's who.
Right. So that goes back to relationships.
Yeah.
That's, if you want to skip the line tactic, that's all it is. So when I mentioned that commercial real estate, one of the first investors I worked with, I didn't know that much about commercial real estate. I knew obviously basic kind of residential real estate transactions.
What drew you to it? Was it just, hey, look, I don't like this life insurance thing. I know that there's a lot of money in this space.
Right.
I know I can close. I know I have the personality for this. I know I can build relationships. Was it just a natural transition?
Numbers. Yeah, it was for me, showing a husband and a wife a house, and the wife's complaining about the kitchen because the color on the backsplash isn't good. That's not something I resonate with. There's obviously residential agents everywhere that, are happy to do that and, work all that out. But for me, it's about the numbers. Right now in my career, I don't even see that many properties. I look at balance sheets, profit and loss, tax returns.
Yeah, these deals are businesses in themselves.
Yeah.
What is your favorite real estate quote or mantra? And you have the famous Warren Buffett quote, be fearful when others are greedy and fearful when others are greedy. So that's not the quote.
Fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful.
That's the quote. Nailed it.
Fifth time's
Shout
the
out
charm.
Warren Buffett. I love that quote. I think it's timeless. And I think COVID showed us that again.
Oh yeah.
Both on the stock side and real estate side.
I got a good COVID story. I mean, when I really started my real estate investing journey, it was 2020 March. That's when I had 2 smaller apartment buildings in escrow, and COVID hit right as I was in escrow, probably a couple weeks in, and I was.
You were taking these down yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I was
your own equity, or were you using investor money?
My own equity.
Got it.
My cash that I've saved up.
Yep.
Years.
Yep. You built your nest egg, and you're like, I'm putting it to work now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all these other people make tons of money off of multifamily. At this point, I'm like, why shouldn't I make a little bit of money?
Very common thought process, guys. I think it should be more common from all you agents out there, all you real estate people, escrow people, title people, appraisers. You know, look, making commission's great. But what are you doing with that commission? How do you make the transition into becoming an investor? There's way more money made on the investor side owning real estate.
There's so many more layers to it as well.
It never ends.
Because I'm a real estate professional and my taxes, I mean, every dollar I was basically investing in these properties was dollars that I was reducing off my tax basis. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And he's already in the room. You're already in the room, guys. You're already talking to real estate people, or you should be, all the time.
You're finding off-market properties. I mean, I can go off another day
so
on
back
this
to you have 2 in escrow.
All right, so I've got 2 in escrow. COVID hits, the world's falling apart, and I basically get super nervous, obviously, and I go to the seller like, hey, can I get a reduction? Can you work with me here? Can we extend escrow? And he's like, no, I'm not giving you anything. Is
it 2 properties, same seller?
Yeah, 2 properties, same seller. It was a small, a triplex and a duplex. And we're talking about $500,000-$600,000.
Yeah,
obviously for me it was quite.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was putting down 20-25% or whatever it was. But so I mean, there was a day of kind of reflection to myself, like, hey, it's been waiting this long. There's always been a reason to not move forward. Here's another one. I mean, granted, it's a fucking good reason, right?
Yep.
But I was like, hey, I want to do this. I want to start moving my whole real estate career forward. So I pulled the trigger, and obviously it was a good decision. I mean, those properties have all doubled. But.
So Tom it was his first real exposure and risk, and COVID hit. And the fear in the market then was massive, and he tried to back out. Luckily for him, in part, the seller said no, and he probably could have found a way to. He decided to move forward and did it, and might to this day maybe be your best investment of all time.
Yeah, obviously all those down, property prices went up, rents went up, so I mean everything went in the right direction, luckily. But I mean,
you crushed it.
Yeah,
but the point is, guys, is that real estate is always going to come back, and that's the Warren Buffett quote. So be greedy when there's fear in the market. In the stock market, they call it blood in the streets. When a lot of times, we talked about this with Andy Rosenberg. He's talking about, these people who are writing these articles, for these Business Insider and these brokerage firms, et cetera, telling you to sell. You got to look at the source, man, because that fear, there's someone buying that stock.
Yeah, there's always going to be stuff on YouTube or Instagram, playing up the hype or whatever it is. But you got to look at the fundamentals, and you just got to make your own decisions.
100%. And that's why real estate generally is pretty safe compared with the stock market. Okay, understanding. Yes. We are an understanding, not what you know, but who you know. And then we have raising money, the key to real estate.
I mean, you want to talk about this for a minute or an hour?
I want to talk about it as much as you feel comfortable, Tom. I want you to break down sort of what the difference is between what and who and why that applies to you and what you're doing. And then I want you to break down for our people how raising capital, when it really clicked, and then the fear curve, because I had to walk through it too, and I'm still walking through it in part right now because it keeps growing. There's always more and more abundance. Same. The numbers get bigger, the wires get bigger, the LPs get bigger, the properties get bigger, and all of that stuff. And so you're always walking through that. That's why this industry is so amazing. So tell me kind of how those things have transpired.
Yeah, I mean, it was a process. I mean, obviously in the very early stages, I mean, I didn't have base or the network that I do have now. Obviously, I have attorneys, syndication attorneys, like all these people that kind of play a role in all this. Initially, it was just, hey, I've got a guy that's got, a few $100,000 in the bank, and then I've got a partner who can help me kind of flip this property. Can I put all these pieces together, get the investor some money, get the contractor some money, and make myself some money, instead of just looking at this like, oh, I can probably put it on the market and make 2-3%.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's obviously personally, I think every single real estate agent should be looking at property that way. They even, especially fixers and things that, they can put together off market. I mean,
Why don't agents? Obviously, number one is risk.
Fear.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's risk involved. They don't have the right network. They don't have the contractors or the architects.
Got to do the work, guys. You got to reach out to guys like Tom. You got to reach out to guys like me. You got to get on Bigger Pockets. There are podcasts out there, endless amounts of podcasts of people that will help you. But I will say this, getting a coach, getting a mentor, and the right one is super important because people will eat your lunch. There's a reason why you should be tentative at first. But when you find the right people, pay the money, right? Split the commission, earn that right to be in that room with that person, and it's going to pay dividends upon dividends. It's called an investment. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I 100% agree with it. And I've done that through my entire career. I've partnered with more experienced commercial agents on deals to understand deals.
Yep.
And then after that, I could do them on my own.
We had Steven Silverman on last week, who's one of the biggest auction brokers for real estate in the country. And we talked about that specific topic. It's like, hey, look, if someone's way better than me at something, I want to be in the room with that person because I want to learn. If that costs me something, I want to pay it.
Oh, yeah.
If I could learn this on my own, I'm not going to be able to gain the experience that this person has earned, right? Because I have to walk through that myself. I'm skipping the line.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's really hard for people because they're like, well, I'm going from, 50% commission to 25, or what am I losing? Okay, what are you going to be in this game for a long time? Are you going to work in this game for 10, 15
very
years?
Small-minded.
Very small-minded. But it still exists out there, so I want to address it. Okay, back to where we are, capital raising.
Yeah, so I have two. We'll probably talk about that a little bit later, but I've got two basic funds that I'm kind of working on right now. One is called Blue Key Builds, which is a smaller development company that focuses on building in unique markets, ground up construction, small 2-3 bedroom homes that are built for Airbnb. And we have, some really good examples right now that are crushing it in these markets. We have in Joshua Tree, we have in Three Rivers by Sequoia National Park, and then we also have one going right now in Blue Ridge, Georgia. But the numbers that we're kind of showing, because we're able to pick the right location, do the right build, have the right amenities, and manage it correctly, have the professional photography, all that kind of stuff, we're able to be in the top, 5% or 3% of the market, which basically collects all the revenue for that, that type of asset in that market.
So Tom has a unique approach. He is generally building around national parks, which helps with consistency of tenants or occupancy rates. In addition to that, he is doing ground up construction as well as some rehabs. In addition to that, he's doing that in-house with his team. And then he is an expert when it comes to navigating, where he should be on profit and margin and operating the deal from the SCR standpoint. What kind of product should we bring into the market? What type of inventory is already there? How do we differentiate ourselves from the existing market to make sure we're capturing as much rent as we can?
You got it.
Yeah. Love that. I love what he's doing. Actually had known Tom for a little while. We met. He was having a meetup at his place, wholesaling. I'm like, I need more deals. I don't need more deals. I'm always going to take more deals. I'll always take more deals, but I have more deals now than I can manage. But back then I didn't. Yeah. So that was literally only probably 6 months ago when I met you.
Yeah,
I came there, we were talking about wholesaling, and Tom and I clicked, and I didn't know that he had this business until probably a month ago. I'm like, bro, I called him immediately. I'm like, bro, we need to be talking. I didn't even know you were investing like this. And it turns out that he has a whole system and a team, and he's raising capital, and it's amazing. When did that click in your mind, Tom, where it registered, hey, I need to be raising money?
Yeah, it's a process. Like you said, you start off kind of smaller and you do smaller deals, and then you see, because we're in this game, we see the opportunities. We know the numbers.
Just want to buy more real estate all the time.
Right, but you want to buy it smart.
You have to buy it smart.
So you know exactly for ADUs exactly here in San Diego what size the lot needs to be, where it needs to be, all the rules and regulations that kind of go along with that.
Yeah, so you learn that over time.
Right.
Where my buy box is.
Right.
I've taken a bunch on the chin. I think, guys, you need to get out there. And again, if I could advise people, I would say get a mentor so you could learn from someone that's taking it on the chin. But you got to get out and do something. You can't do nothing because you're afraid to take one on the chin. Eventually, if you're in this game long enough, you're going to take one on the chin. But you want to be buying right. That is real estate 101. Period, all the time. You have to be buying right, because if you buy a piece of real estate at the right cost in the right location, you are sheltering yourself from a tremendous amount of downside just by default.
100%.
You can do a lot of things wrong, but if you buy right, you are sheltering yourself. So I will say that is real estate 101. I think everyone in this game knows it already, but if you don't, you should know that. So yes, so you are starting smaller. You started smaller. You're gaining momentum. You're learning along the way. You're obviously already experienced. You're gaining more and more experience. The numbers become larger. And then eventually what happens to you, probably like to me, to everyone, is you only have so much equity. So how do I do more?
Yeah, I should mention, I mean, obviously, as you're moving forward in this game, I mean, there's always different types of partnerships that kind of come about. I mean, we took, we gave a very low interest rate to a partner, but gave them some of the equity. And then there's some partners we just give, an interest rate on. We treat them like the bank. For the Blue Key Builds, that development company right now, we're kind of partnering in two different ways as well. We have them sign on the loan and give them 50% of the equity, 50% of the profit, 50% of the revenue, all that kind of stuff. And then we have some that just kind of give us a blank check or, a certain amount check. And then we give them a, 8% return and then some of the cash flow as well. And then I'll even throw in, we just started another one called, we don't really have a name for it yet. It's called RTB Homes, and we're focusing on Section 8 rentals in kind of markets in the Midwest. We've already raised about $1 million for that one. And that's, obviously the returns for Section 8s are really good. So we're looking at portfolios in places like St. Louis and Ohio.
That's RT Homes.
RTB Homes, yeah.
What is that? What is that?
Just my partners' names, yeah.
Got it. RTB.
Red Tom Bryan, yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it. All right, so that's going to be in the description, guys. Both of his funds and his groups. His Instagram will be there. His contact will be there. Reach out to Tom if you guys are interested in investing in his projects. I don't know, if they're 506c or all that. So, we'll probably have to have a conversation offline about that. But yeah, Tom, very sophisticated investor. He is raising capital for these type of products. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to reach out to Tom Kadar.